welcome to Talking Codswallop. I am your host, James Jr., and I have a very special guest, don't I?
Allegedly, yes. I'm James. I guess James Senior.
Yay, it's a boy show, it's a boy show, it's a boy show.
It is. I mean, I'm old and decrepit now. Well, my body certainly feels that way. So I'm just going to
the opposite. We're the opposite. Your body's knackered, my mind's knackered.
Oh my God. So somewhere in the middle, we will work, in theory.
We will work for biscuits.
I will work for coffee because God knows I need it. My entire life is fueled by caffeine.
Caffeine and anger.
Well, I'm not Gemma, so it's less anger, just more caffeine.
What about Werther's Originals?
Do you know I've not had Werther's Originals for years and years and years? But we're going off onto a wonderful but strange tangent. So, James, how are you?
That's what this whole thing's about.
Oh, I know that, but I want it to be nice. I mean, just to explain, Salty Tadpoles, we have had a preemptive chat where I was told off because I was discussing things which would get rid of any content. But my first question is, honestly, James, how are you? It's been far too long, my friend.
Yes, I have been very well. Obviously, you won't have heard what happens on the previous episodes because you don't listen.
I listened to the 3-minute introduction like I was told to do.
Okay. Yeah, so obviously I've had my Lego convention, which was the majority of my time. I
knew about that. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, my living room still looks like the back rooms to like Lego itself. There's just boxes of it everywhere.
But it all went well.
Oh, it went swimmingly. I would say I've been invited back for another event in June, which is going to be at Haydock Racecourse on the 29th of June. So I'll be going back to that one because that's local for me, but that's probably about as far as I'll be willing to go because it's about 40 minutes in the car, which for me is it's a long way from my safe space. Okay. And it's a long way to transport Lego.
Well, I was going to say the difference of say just doing a bit of a journey for something. If I've had to say do it for work, is I'm taking say me and maybe some clothing. Whereas if you're lugging your like large-scale Lego stuff, I can imagine that. And it's a bit more delicate.
The only saving grace is that at least it's easy to put back together. I said this to Gemma on previous episodes. At least it was a case of I wasn't too fussed on the way home because it was like I can rebuild it and I don't have a time scale. But yeah, driving around every corner and you just hear something shift on the back seat and I'm like, oh, what was that?
It's horrible. I've had that when you're moving things as well and you hear noise like plants. Plants of late have been something I've been getting just through a bit of gardening on my downtime. But yeah, when you hear it shifting around the boot and you're thinking, please don't fall it over. So
this is confirmed, Salty Tadpoles. James has a green thumb. Hopefully nothing else has turned that colour.
That's if any other parts of me turn green, I need basically more expensive jewellery.
You either need more expensive jewellery or medical aid. Let's get to the more important one.
Very true. Doctor's like, what the hell have you been doing? And why?
But no, I've been on a bit of an 80s binge at the moment.
Good man.
Because I very recently discovered that there was a RoboCop video game that came out about 2 years ago called Rogue City. It was finally on sale for a ridiculous 80% off. So I downloaded it and it is absolutely fantastic. Peter
is he the voice?
Yes.
Excellent.
Although annoyingly, he's the only one. Now, fair enough, a large number of the cast has passed away, sadly. But he's the only one who I believe voiced their original. Like even Kurtwood Smith, he's shown via flashbacks, but they had to digitally remove his face. So what they did was they put like a glitch texture over his face because I think it wasn't done by a big studio, so they didn't exactly have the budget, and you can tell in kind of like the line delivery and the textures aren't fantastic on the NPCs, but. Storyline wise, it's really good. The gameplay is really good, and it just I love RoboCop. I genuinely do.
No, I do. You're making me want to watch RoboCop later on. So yes,
I know.
I'll do that.
Just remember, the sequels don't exist like so many things.
I don't mind number 2, but after that point, it just gets and the remake was not good. The remake had the potential to be passable, but yeah.
No, I didn't like the remake. I'm not a fan of 2 because you can, well, mainly because I know the behind the scenes stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's a lot of like knowing what happened with the writers, the directors, the studio input, and how it messed the entire thing up.
Mm-hmm.
It's more disappointing when I watch it because I'm like, I know this could have been better. And then the third one's just atrocious.
My only real knowledge for the third one is watching it as a like a teenager, as a kid, and I think even then I wasn't overly impressed by it. It's a bit like when I watched Batman and Robin in the cinema. And I remember within the first 5 minutes, I was like, "This is terrible." I mean, this is just truly terrible. But when you mention sort of 80s films, I watched now it didn't do well. It's very cheesy and whatnot, but it has a massive tonal shift where it gets very good and serious. But a film called Gotcha with Anthony Edwards who was probably best known from ER when he was younger and he had long blonde hair. He had hairstyle similar to what I used to have. But it's an interesting one. It's about espionage, and it's like in East and West Berlin, and yeah, I showed it to somebody, and you look at it and think this is going to be cheesy and awful, and to a point it is, and then it has this massive shift where you're like, this gets serious.
Yeah, it's just like 90 degrees. It's like here's a 180 twist. Whoop.
Well, completely. When I recently rewatched it, I was like, God, this does jump. It goes from cheesy, like, paintballing stuff to this massive espionage jump. And you're like, whoa. Anyway, but yeah, we're digressing. So,
as always.
Well, it wouldn't be talking Codswallop without some digression, would it? So,
exactly.
Just to give people who may or may not wonder where I've been or care, or in fact, if they don't care or wonder, you stick things in your ears at this point and go la 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 la. But the reason I have not been on as much is various crazy things happening in my life, which is part of the course, but also work on films and TV. And before you ponder or ask or think, no, I can't tell you anything. Because I said to James, I sign NDAs, so I can't discuss. Like, people are just going, tell me everything you've done. And you're like, don't work like that.
Yes, Tadpoles. We had a very enlightening conversation where he just repeatedly answered, "I can't say."
Yeah.
Like even I as a co-host,
yes.
who I know about NDAs, he won't even tell me, which is rightly so because NDAs are a terrifying thing, especially when they're signed by big studios. They're very, very scary. But I'm looking forward to hearing, as I said before we start recording, I'm looking forward to hearing about it in 12 months' time when it's finally up.
Yeah. And it's also the element of, even if somebody did say, you may not even be in it, your entire part may be cut. So, but I've been enjoying myself. So that's the main thing.
Yeah, just too busy for us.
Well, it's not a personal thing. It's it's like, if someone says, well, can't you record? Sure, if you want to record again at like 2 a.m.
Yeah, I fully get it. Obviously for the tadpoles, we do talk outside of recordings. It's very, very strange, but we do
converse. Yes.
So obviously we have been keeping up, and as you said, your schedule has been so hectic. It's like to pin you down today.
Yeah,
you were like, I've got 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's the thing is, it's kind of insane to try and describe to people how these things work, because it's like, well, I was sent something today for work, and it's you can get some incredibly short notice, or you can get a bit of notice on things. But look, I'm not complaining. It's all good. It's just the nature. As the easiest way to describe it is the nature of the beast. So whatever happens will happen. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. It's never anything personal. And if you do get it, it can be absolutely wonderful fun. But I can't tell you anything. So.
It could be fun, but I can't say. So yeah.
So someone sat listening to this will be going, so basically you spent about 4 minutes telling us nothing.
Pretty much.
I
pinned him down to find out what he's doing, and what's the answer? Can't say.
Yeah.
Right. So he's either a spy or he's just rude.
Or and you left as nonplussed as you were at the beginning. But I'm going to go with the thing we always did, as far as I can remember, which is, do you have any Codswallop, James?
I do.
Good lad.
I do, and it's very frustrating, Codswallop. And appropriately, it is car related. And since there's no Gemma, we can turn it into the car corner.
You can't see me. I did the metal signs. Yes.
So yes, I've had a bit of a brake issue on my car, so I decided I would change the brakes because it's not that difficult. It genuinely isn't.
I'm only laughing because I've seen the photo.
Yeah. And I've had the parts sat for ages, and I got this horrible squealing sound, and I was like, no, I know immediately what that is. Obviously, one of my brake pads has worn down, and I managed to so I sat down Saturday morning, 9:00 in the morning on a Saturday, immediately brought the impact wrench out. You know, really, really, I'm really nice to my neighbours.
Very quiet.
Oh yeah. To be fair, they got their son a drum kit, so I think
I'm on
allowed.
your side. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm allowed. It's like, I put up with your drumming for the last 4 months. I'm doing my brakes at 9:00 on a Saturday morning while the weather's good. So yeah, I discovered that I'd ordered all the parts I thought I needed. Mm-hmm. Half of them haven't turned up yet. Now, thankfully, the parts that haven't turned up yet are for the front of the car, so at least I wasn't touching those, but I've had to reorder parts for the rear because now I've discovered that the caliper was stuck and not moving.
Okay, that's not good.
Yeah, so it means replacing a lot more components, which I've ordered. I'm waiting for, but it basically strands me because I don't want to use the car because as it sits at the moment, because it's got new beefy brake pads in, the clutch is burning out.
Holy shit. Clutches terrify me.
The clutch is going. The clutch is going because it's like having the handbrake on.
Yeah.
Because these calipers are holding on tight and there's no wiggle room in them. There's no wiggle room on one side. So I've got passenger side, that one's working perfectly. Driver's side, it's stuck. And you can hear it every now and then, like as it's trying to let off. Like every rotation of the wheel, it's like this he as I'm going along. And then literally I just went to the corner shop and back, and I went,
oh, the aroma. Yeah.
Why can I smell burning metal? And at first I thought, oh, it's the caliper. Went and sniffed my wheel. And yes, this is Tadpole's perfectly normal thing to do is smell your car.
I agree. I'm with you.
So I smelt the wheel, wasn't coming from there. So I started walking back, towards the driver's seat. And I was like, that's coming from the front. Oh, shit. Popped the bonnet. A waft of clutch smell hit me in the nose. And I'm like, oh, God. But thankfully, I don't think it's gone. My clutch hasn't gone completely because I can still do a standing start burnout. If I drop the clutch, my wheel spins. So I know my clutches hasn't gone completely, but I'm
always
until I get this brake sorted, I'm not touching it. I'm like, okay, stay.
Firstly, to be honest, James, I'm incredibly impressed you're able to do your brakes.
Again, it's one of those things where my dad always said, be as self-sufficient as you can because you never know, and it's a case of, it saved me so far probably over like £200 just in labour.
I wish I had your confidence. But no, I do recognise on clutches, certainly on my car, the garage were very good. They never charged me. They said, no, you seem to be okay. But I'm always a bit worried about clutch stuff. Partly, I think it was just my probably bad driving. So I've not driven the car for a while. So I spent my foot. No, but being honest, I think my feet, I just wasn't being very, gentle or sure as I should be. Because
I have almost a similar problem when I change cars. Because on occasion, I take my late father-in-law. My mother-in-law refuses to get rid of the car, so I take it out for a spin every now and then. That car is a 6-speed turbo diesel Toyota. It's a RAV4. Nice. It's beautiful.
Nice.
But it drives completely differently to my normal car. Just in seating position, like you say, the clutch is in a different position. The accelerator isn't quite as responsive as mine because mine's old school throttle cable, and my father-in-law's is drive-by-wire, so it's an electronic throttle. So there's little things like that, but yeah, immediately on the switch over after, say, driving his for a week, and I get back in mine, I'm like, whoa, because I get used to having to have a bit more of a lead foot in the turbo diesel. And that's like, can't do that in mine.
Well, I had the thing where I really thought it could be something going wrong, but looking back on it, and I realised it was 1 a.m. I was tired. I'd finished filming, and I just wanted to go home, and I don't think I was driving at my best.
Yeah.
So
never drive tired or drunk.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I had no option.
Yeah.
This is not drinking, people. This is the tiredness, just to make you fully aware. Yeah. But so my Codswallop, so out of interest, where do you buy your parts from?
Well, this is part of my Codswallop.
Right, far away.
Not only did I have to spend a small fortune on extra parts that now might not even be necessary, I had to go through eBay. And eBay have this awful tool of you can put your reg number in, you can find your make and model, and they do a fitment check. It's absolute crap.
Oh dear.
The number of times I have tried it, and it's like, my car is listed in the title of the item, and their check goes, this is not compatible with your car. And what's worse is, even if it says it is compatible, I then got a message from the seller basically saying, can we just confirm how you've checked? Because, again, this is the problem for the sellers. The system isn't correct. Therefore, they are having to refund so many orders because they're being told by eBay, no. So the customers get told it'll fit. It turns up and it doesn't. So they return it. And that goes against the sellers. So the sellers are now basically having to reconfirm. So I got this email just saying, look, we just want to basically triple check. So I sent them an email going, yeah, I ordered the same part 12 months ago when I had to do my other side. So they finally dispatched it, and I bought it a week ago, and they dispatched it today.
Well, it's good. I mean, that's not so good, but it's good at least that they've been in contact with you.
Yes.
To confirm things. But just to check, James, is your Codswallop finished?
Well, let's see. The day's not over, but we'll say yes for now.
Simply because, can you guess what's caused my Codswallop?
Your parts haven't turned up, or they have turned up and they're the wrong parts.
No, but it is eBay. It is eBay. That's where this is why I was like getting excited, thinking, I bet we've got almost the same Codswallop. So eBay so far has been pretty damn good, apart from, and it's partly my own fault and partly an eBay thing, they've gone really, really obsessive on security and checking up on. Now, I'll try and make this longish story short. So I'd been having problems on my phone, so I'd wiped stuff, which unfortunately wiped the information for eBay that allowed me access to it. So when you try and go back in, I couldn't get back in. And the problem is the telephone number on the system relates to an old phone I had, not my new one. So I'm currently unable to get into it. I have had to send, you have to send something that proves who you are. So it's like passport, photograph. So that's gone over. I'm still waiting. But to the credit of eBay, and I will give them a tick in the box on this one, I actually spoke to someone because they couldn't get them to ring you back. And they were very helpful, very helpful. They said to me, right, thank you, because I've been with them since like 2003 or something. They said, thank you for your long service, blah, blah, blah. If you have any issues, ring us back up. So fingers crossed it'll be okay soon, because I've got things I want to potentially buy. I've got things I definitely want to sell. So yeah, funnily enough, my Codswallop and your Codswallop interconnect very well.
Yeah, which is a shame because eBay is a wonderful platform.
It is.
It just has its minor issues.
Yeah. I mean, there are far worse things that could happen. I mean, I'm just thankful that because I've recently been selling things through them. I'm just thankful I'd transferred the money and not sort of left it all sat there. I think like 47p sat there for some bizarre reason. But, when it all went wrong, I thought, well, at least I've not got like the entire payout that I never easily be able to get access to. So
yeah, they've not locked away a couple of grand on you.
No. Well, I'm not that lucky. And the other problem is if you hit a certain amount with eBay, you get not done. You end up having to pay tax, don't you? I think it's £1,000. You're okay, but anything over that, it's never going to happen. I don't think I've got anything worth selling for £1,000.
Well, you have, but you can't sell kidneys on eBay.
That's true. I mean, I'll sell my spleen if anyone wants it.
Who's going to want it if you don't even want your own spleen?
Exactly. Exactamundo. But no, it's if I can resolve that problem, I'll be a happy man. But I suspect I'll be waiting a wee while. But
So no
yeah.
bullseye tea towels for you.
No, definitely not. Nothing like that. But no, it's yeah. But you're right. eBay is pretty damn good when it works. So I'm hoping I can resolve it fairly soon.
I have to say, it's my preferred option over Amazon because, my God, is Amazon awful to navigate.
I have noticed you get some tricky bits with Amazon. I mean, I'm generally not too bad with them, but a lot of it is, it's like when the Amazon sales run, you've got to box clever on what you're actually buying. It's not always a deal. I mean, the weird thing, and we'll just go eBay-centric tadpoles for a minute, is the fact that when you mention car parts, I think I've mentioned this to you and Gemma in the past, I need to get a replacement handle bit for my car.
Yes.
Which would have cost me an absolute fortune to go down the Audi route or Amazon or whatever. And it was actually cheaper to buy an entire handle with a lock off eBay.
I have done the exact same thing. It was a case of, it was like I needed what was it? I think I needed it was actually a wing mirror housing for one of my other car. Well, one of my 4 cars. So
good man.
It was a case of same problem. It was like I just needed the because it was the connector that it was on my old Renault. So the whole wing mirror sits in a piece of glass. So you've got a small triangular piece of glass with a hole in it, and you have to thread the wing mirror through the glass.
Oh God!
And what had actually happened was the previous owner had smashed the first wing mirror. He'd replaced the glass in the door, but he hadn't replaced the wing mirror. So the wing mirror is hanging on for dear life on the outside, and it's still attached on the new glass. And it was same problem. It was just a case of, I just need the outer housing. They wanted £60 for it, 20 quid, and I got a full wing mirror with glass, with the actual glass piece in the mirror, with all the connectors, everything, and it was like 20 quid. I'm like, yeah, that's brilliant. I only have to spray it a different colour.
I mean, and again, the same thing of getting good contact from the seller. I had that because the breakers yard were like, just send me a picture of what you need. So they knew exactly what it was. And yeah, we can do that. Boom, sorted. I think I even managed to do make an offer and get it at a lower rate, if memory serves me. So yeah.
Well, you've reminded me because I got on my Amazon rant. I did actually have some Codswallop for Amazon.
Oh yes, please fire away.
Extra little one to finish, which is it was my wife's birthday in January, and I bought her what I thought were a brand new pair of Bluetooth headphones. Because she's had her previous pair for 5 years, and I am thoroughly impressed with them because for 5 years they've lasted, and it's the actual plastic housing.
That's good going.
That had cracked. So I was like, yeah, these are superb. So I went on and basically ordered what I thought were the exact same ones, and they turned up and they looked exactly the same. And it was only when I presented them to my wife on her birthday that she said, these aren't Bluetooth. And I went, what? She said, they're exactly the same, but they're hardwired. And I went, there must be a mistake with the listing. So I went back and I retyped in the search bar, Bluetooth wireless headphones. The listing came up.
Weird. That's not good.
And it was under an Amazon recommended stamp in the corner.
Oof, not good.
So I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And my wife just said, oh, well, you can just return them. And I said, no. Because I know they're just going to kick off an absolute, everyone's always like, it's not the point. I'm like, so I've boycotted Amazon since.
But that's interesting. You say you can't. So, I mean, for returning them, because I actually had to return something to Amazon recently. It was incredibly easy.
Yeah, That's the thing, because my wife said the same thing. Oh, it's dead easy. They'll just ask you for a label. And I said, for me, it's not about the money. It's about the incompetence of the platform.
It's the principle, damn it.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are men. We argue on principle. I don't care if I'm out of pocket. Money can be earned back. It was the fact that they've treated me like a buffoon in front of you, my wife.
I can understand that.
Because that was the worst part. I felt like an absolute tit.
It happens. It does happen. I mean, like the thing I bought for my car, I've still not put it on simply because I don't want to risk. I've undone everything you're supposed to undo, but I don't want to risk snapping the plastic on it. So when my car next goes into the garage, which will be in a few
You're just going to
months,
hand it to them.
I'm going to go, guys, can you try and like get that off without breaking it? Because I don't try. I think probably what you do is it'll be shed loads of WD-40 and work it off that way. But I don't dare, can you imagine you've spent it all, it happened, you're going, come on, crack.
Yeah, I can, because I've had that happen. It's that old joke of a 10-minute job is only 3 rusty bolts away from a 3-week project.
It's like the poor guy I saw yesterday. He'd obviously bought some wine from a big wine merchant thing, and he was putting it in his car, and he heard the smash of that one of the bottles. It's not fun.
It's a bit like, have you ever seen those old photos that go around the internet every now and then of the transit van with the apprentice in the back and there's paint pouring out from the door?
I have. And you see it, and the thing is, it does slightly amuse, but also your heart sinks because you're thinking, my God, that must be
He's going to have to clean that.
Yeah. I mean, it's when certain things go wrong. I think my dad once had a slight leak in a bottle of wine in the boot. That wasn't a hellish thing to clean out, to sort out.
No.
And you get a cleaner and it's fine. But an entire bottle, entire tub of paint. Oh my God. I don't even know where you begin.
You throw the car away.
Yeah.
Your cleaning fluids are petrol and a lighter.
Correct.
And you park it down some country lane.
So, as we said earlier on, we're on, due to me, unfortunately, we're on a tight schedule. But, James, do you have any weird stories of the week?
I don't at the moment, because I've been trying to stay away because, again, at the moment, it's very politics heavy with the news. So I've been trying to stay away from it because it's just no. I want to be happy. I have enough problems in my life. I don't need to add more to it by reading the news. But do you?
I do have one weird one.
Well, we shall finish on your weirdness.
We will. So we've all heard the phrase stuck between a rock and a hard place, but it appears this man took things a bit too literally. Fire crews faced an unusual call-out on Friday evening after a man got stuck between 2 walls. They arrived at the scene in Westminster in Orange County, California, to find the man wedged on his side between the 2 structures. The technical rescue team used a high-point rescue technique, which allows them to lower or raise someone using ropes. So they got a harness around him and then began to try and lift him out. And he could get out through a ladder. He was uninjured, but there's no explanation as to why he got there. Now, looking at it, I think he's probably been up to some kind of potential attempt at a theft.
That's usually how those stories go.
Yeah.
When someone man trapped in an unusual place, it's usually, well, what were you doing there? Nothing.
Well, the thing is, it's
what's
not
this duffel bag full of burglars' tools?
It's this strange thing when you look at it. It's not like he was even on the ground. It looked like he'd been obviously attempting to, I don't know, he'd load it. Looking at it, yeah, it looks very, very odd. But to find someone's wedged between two properties pretty much is most weird.
Was he upside down?
I'm looking
right
back at his photo, and it would appear he sideways, it looks almost like. So he's clear. I think he's been looking at the image. It looks to me like he's been trying to get through a window into a house, maneuvered himself sideways, and it's all gone a bit wrong.
It's all gone a bit pear-shaped.
And he's got no shirt on, which is even weirder.
That's
gonna hurt.
That brick rash.
Oh God, rather him than me.
Yeah. It'll be like bathing in sandpaper.
God, can you imagine trying to have a shower after that?
Well,
but there is one that's
where he's going. There's other issues in the showers.
Yeah, he won't be dropping the soap, hopefully. But even better one. So on a ride at Six Flags, you had an issue where people, due to a storm, I mean, this is kind of tragic, got stuck 200 feet in the air.
Oh.
Which is not one you'd want. So I'm afraid my strange stories are less probably strange, just more like horrific.
So, yeah, whatever you do, tadpoles, don't listen to this episode if you don't like the idea of being trapped in weird and tight spaces or in inconvenient locations.
Oh, yeah, you have an extreme fear of height as well.
Yeah. Well, I think with that, we've been talking enough Codswallop for this episode. So, I have been James.
I have been James also. That'll throw you, won't it, when you listen to this one?
So, thank you very much, James, for freeing up some time in your very busy schedule. We look forward to you being able to come back for some longer ones.
No, thank you, James. And it's it's been wonderful as ever. And let's see how many times we can say James to each other.
Indeed, James. Indeed.
Indeed. Thank you, James.
And we'll see how much we can upset Gemma. Isn't that right, James?
Absolutely, James.
Good night, James.
Good night, James.
This podcast is a production of Unfiltered Studios. If you would like to know more about joining Unfiltered Studios, please visit our website at unfpod.com for more information.